Tell us. I always ask my guest, where are you right now?
Oh, I am in Atlanta, Georgia, United States.
Whoa, that
hmm
city now is becoming like really hot for filmmaking.
It is indeed. In fact, it recently, unless it fell back down, it recently surpassed for motion pictures LA and New York in terms of number of films made here. It's a hotbed of activity in film. Yeah, my husband, our daughter graduated college a year ago with a degree in musical theater and also intends to do film. And my husband keeps trying to get her to come home and live in Atlanta and get an Atlanta agent and work here. But she wants to, try her thing up there in the New York area. So,
Wow, that's wonderful. You know, one of the reason Atlanta is so popular is that because it is it has a lot of filmmakers, but practically is it because the location is less costly.
well, definitely less costly. It's multiple factors. One, there are lots of, I mean, similar to California though. There are lots of different environments. There's country and forest and coastal. Hunger Games was filmed in this area. The forest scenes. There's lots of different environments, and then also the big city, of course, but also we're what they call a right to work state.
Mm,
So it's labor is easier and the rules are easier.
mm-hmm.
And they set to several years ago, really make tax benefits and really make it appealing because they wanted to become a film capital. So they did a good job because it's working.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit. I have your biography, and the biography is in the description below on this YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, my name is Ching Juhl. I have been hosting this live interview, sometimes called live conversation, with someone special since March of 2020, which is a lockdown.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah, and me and my guests, yeah, I have interviewed more than 180 episodes.
Oh my gosh. I hope I can one day say that.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay. Like background or what I'm doing
Yeah, your
now?
background. Yeah.
Okay. I was raised primarily by a single mother who, in my early days, waited tables. We were pretty poor. I lived half of the time in Buffalo, New York, and the other half in Texas. I was a little ballet dancer. I rose to the level of apprentice at the Dallas Ballet when I was in high school, but I decided I didn't want to be poor anymore, that it wasn't as glamorous as people who aren't poor think it might be. so so I set out to be a first generation college graduate. And I chose journalism because when I decided not to be a dancer anymore, that was all I ever dreamt of doing. So I had to figure out, well, what else would I like to do? And I loved to learn. And I thought, well, if I were a journalist, I would constantly be learning new topics, meeting new people, covering all kinds of issues, and constantly learning. And that sounded pretty good to me. And I've done many things, and I did write briefly, but I was an editor. I worked in corporate communications. I worked in political campaigns for a bit. I worked in public policy. I meandered through all kinds of areas of communications through my career until I became a stay-at-home mom.
Wow. And you have one child or more?
I have three children.
Whoa,
Yeah, three
3.
children.
Oh my God.
The last one is about to leave the nest. She just graduated from high school, and we are about to be empty nesters.
Yay. Yay, you get to watch TV by yourself.
Yes, we get to, well, she hasn't been around much. She has a job and school, and I joke that we've already been empty nesters, and my husband complains, and so I ask him, how many meals have you had with her this week? Yeah, we're empty nesters already.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited about the next chapter, or I am anyway.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, you have this very interesting name on your YouTube channel. It's called "We Are Not Dead Yet." Women,
Correct.
women rocking their next chapter, and it's meant to producing multimedia content for women over 40,
Mm-hmm.
50, 60, and beyond. So,
Yes.
where is this idea came from?
Well, in my late 40s, I would say I'm 56 now. In my late 40s, I was, less of my time was required by my children because they were driving and I wasn't spending my life in the car. And I was busy. I wasn't sitting around doing nothing. I've always been engaged in other like volunteer activities and other endeavors. And I'm a huge do-it-yourselfer. Everything that gets done around this house is done by me. I even, right before the pandemic, thankfully, built a home cinema in our basement. It took me 8 months, but I built it almost 100% by myself. So we had that to enjoy when we were in lockdown. So that was worked out very well. So I wasn't bored, but I started noticing women around me, some good friends, others who I just knew, on social media, who were doing really interesting things after 40 or 50 or even later, maybe going back into the workforce and really killing it, or discovering a talent they didn't know they had and doing that for a profession, or just learning new things. And it just got me thinking, is there something different, more I should do? Is there a new goal I should set? Are there new achievements I could attain? And so I mulled that over for probably a couple of years until I had this light bulb moment while chatting with one of these friends over margaritas. And I said, what if there was a YouTube channel where I interviewed women like you and other women who are living their best life, or at least in the process, maybe reinventing themselves after 40, to show the rest of us what's possible? And to maybe give us some ideas of, or at least get our brains working to think, is there something else that would be rewarding for us to do? And that friend, we had years before been on a trip with our husbands to Key West. And late one night, after dancing in a club and drinking far too much margaritas, we heard a song from across the street at another bar, and without notifying our husbands, suddenly looked at each other and ran out of the bar, and they were yelling at us from behind us. And I threw my head over my shoulder and said, we're not dead yet. And the idea was, we were in our 40s, we might be aging, but we're not dead yet. We can still live our best lives. So of course, that was a logical name for the channel. I said, and I'm going to call it We're Not Dead Yet, Women Rocking Their Next Chapter.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, this is your website, or this is your?
Yes,
Okay.
that's my website. I had to learn how to build my own website also.
Cool. Wow. Speaking of DIY, and what kind of program you use, may I?
I used Wix.
Wix. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I honestly, in full disclosure, I DIY'd it and got it to a certain place and then sat on it for months because I was frustrated and I couldn't get it exactly where I wanted. But another woman I met on Clubhouse
Mm.
is a Wix expert. And so
Mm.
she helped me kind of fine tune it and get it to a place where I could actually launch it.
Mm.
So yeah, it was mostly DIY, but I had some instruction from an expert as well.
Wow, look at this. This is a wonderful, wonderful
Thank
recent
you.
episodes. Yeah, that's wonderful. So we had a clubhouse today titled something like "Are you getting your shit done?" So you're definitely you're definitely a get your shit done person.
But there's always shit still left undone, no matter what, right?
There's more shit coming.
It just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Yeah. No.
And
I have.
yeah. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Oh,
No,
I was gonna say
the whole look. You can see on the right hand side. We have some guests there. Shark Fin, Colette, and Juliana, and we were all in that room and talking about how
nice.
we should get shit done. Yeah.
Welcome all. Yeah, I should have been in that room. There's too much shit to get done to get it all done, sadly. And there's only, I'm not monetized yet. I hope to make money somehow, some way, one day, but I don't yet. So it's just me. My husband does help me. In fact, he drove me about an hour and a half out of town yesterday and was the camera operator for an interview of a woman. So he does help me. He's a overpriced cameraman, but free to me. So that works out well. But yeah, there's just too much to do. I want to write a book. I've got 4 chapters of a book written.
Wow.
I started a blog on my website. So yeah, it's just never ending, Ching, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good for you. And now you have a degree in journalism.
Mhm.
I always always dreamed of having a journalism degree or being a real journalist. So eventually right now I sort of a self how do I become a journalistic videographer. So tell us a little bit the relationship between being a journalist and Shark Fin is a former journalist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shark Fin wrote a little statement, says sounds very empowering.
Neeahtima.
Neeahtima. Too often Hollywood, Madison Avenue, the fashion magazine, etc., etc. Yeah, write off women over 40, 50, let alone older.
But less so now. What's interesting is now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I find myself in clubhouse rooms or other social media areas with other women who are, say, influencers in the over 40, over 50. And some of them, I feel, spend too much time talking about society and how society overlooks us and we're invisible. And really, I'm going to do a whole blog and maybe even a video on that, because more and more, Elon Musk's 80-something-year-old mom was on the cover of the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated.
Wow.
And more women are, for instance, there are several women in their 60s and even 70s, actresses who are the spokespeople for major fashion and beauty brands. And I see that it's less and less so, but we have to get out of our own way, and that was certainly true with me. We feel like we must be invisible. I think many of us, I felt, nobody wants to hear from me. Nobody wants to see me. What if it's not interesting? What if my voice is weird? What if they don't like the way I look? All the self-doubt creeps in, and really society it's not the problem. We have to get out of our own way and get out of our own heads and say, I am worthy. And another thing he uses is the word empowering. I have to get on my soapbox thing. I have an issue with the words empowering women. I'm trying to cancel that expression because I'm a journalist. and a former editor, I get really hung up on the exact meaning of words. And if you look up the definition of empower, it means to give someone power, authority, or permission. Well, who was it that sat around one day and said, we need to give women power and authority and permission? They don't already have it. We need to give it to them. And so I know that's not what people mean when they use the term, but what is the subliminal message we're sending women or telling ourselves, right? We're already trying to overcome all this self-doubt that rages in our brains. And then we're saying that we need somebody to give us power. And so I like to use the term embolden, because we have the power. We might need help. We might need financial help. We might need encouragement. We might need support, but we don't need the power. We already have the power.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Now, so have you met or interviewed a lot of women from 40 or 60 and beyond? And where do you get your interviewee come onto your show?
Well,
how do
I
you
was
meet
worried about that in the beginning, because I did feel strongly I wanted the interviews to be in person and interactive, because everybody was having to spend so much time on Zoom. I didn't feel like people would want to watch somebody else's Zoom call, essentially. And so for YouTube, I wanted, I had visions of, like a real TV show, visions of interacting with the guest, doing whatever it is in the environment where they are reinventing themselves. So for instance, with the artist, I did two artists actually. I painted with the artists in their studios while interviewing them. I interviewed an over 50 hip hop group. No joke. It's not just a club. They perform all over, like at major sports events and parades. And I interviewed them in the studio, and they taught me hip hop. So that was my vision. So I worried, because it would take a while to get monetized and have money to travel. So I worried that, where would I find enough women and enough variety of women that were close enough, geographically, to interview in person. But, I'm a woman of faith, and God has just provided them. I mean, in the most strangest circumstances, I meet women or friends and other women that I've already interviewed tell me about new women. I've met women on Clubhouse, on Instagram, and they keep appearing. I'm sure one day I will have to do, some Zoom. I did meet a lovely woman on Clubhouse called Yael, who lives in Israel. And so I made an exception. I did a Zoom interview of Yael, but she also provided me lots of video of her over 60 doing paddleboarding and painting and doing videography and belly dancing and all of these wonderful things she's doing at the age of 60. So I was able to incorporate that video and, overlay it onto our interview.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your Clubhouse experience. Like, when did you get on? And do you do that very often?
I do. Now, my husband thinks I'm addicted to it. I tell him I'm not addicted to Clubhouse.
I am.
I'm addicted to learning, and I'm addicted to expanding my network. That's what I'm addicted to. I got on Clubhouse in January. It was actually a woman that I interviewed said, "Are you on Clubhouse?" I was like, "What's a Clubhouse?" And she said, "It's a social media app." And I said, "Oh no, I can't handle all the social media apps that I have to participate in now." And she was like, "You really should check it out. You really should check it out." So I did. And I had no idea. And it was life changing. I have learned so much, as a woman over 40, over 50, we weren't born with an iPhone. We didn't grow up with iPhones and social media. So it's not as intuitive to us as it is our children, and it takes some learning. And when I started my channel, I knew I had to do better at social media, and I really didn't even know what Instagram was for. I had an Instagram, I didn't really use it, and I swear I've gotten my master's degree on Instagram, on Clubhouse, from experts on Clubhouse who are just so knowledgeable and giving and generous, and and you can learn anything about anything on Clubhouse, including I met you in rooms and learned more about YouTube and more about making videos just with an iPhone from you, Ching. It's such a wealth of knowledge. And I've made real friends on Clubhouse, people that I've met in person, or at least, I at least talk to on the phone on a regular basis, and, intend to meet in person one day. And I tell everyone that if they're not on Clubhouse, they're missing out.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly. I cannot stop listening to Clubhouse, even when I'm cooking or doing other chores. And once in a while, I get inspired. I just open a pop-up room. I host actually regularly two rooms. One is on Fridays at 12 p.m. It's called Smartphone Video Production.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I teach or talk about smartphone, how we can use smartphone, because I shot an entire film. I made a documentary, 90-minute documentary shot with iPhone 11, and it's doing very well. It's like we won 5 awards internationally.
That's
And
wonderful.
we had 5 distributors interested in us.
Wow.
But yeah, but I didn't sign up with anybody. Finally, I put my film on Vimeo on demand, so I am self-distributing it. So that's one room. I can put a link there. That's one room, and the other room is called Talking Depression. And
I'm very passionate about
yeah,
mental health.
That's wonderful. Maybe you can come on Monday, 9 a.m. And we're in the same time zone, right?
Yes.
You and
yes.
on 9 a.m. and I'll just sit in my room and waiting for people to come in. And it's usually a very small, intimate room. And people just come in and tell us like they're depressed, they were depressed, or their relatives are depressed, So
what a great thing. I mean, seriously, you just never know who you're going to help with that.
Yeah. So the idea is to listen, to talk, and to share experience. And I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. But I experience depression.
Yes,
So
me
that's
too.
why.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've had lifelong depression and anxiety. I know now. Growing up, we didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
When you're in your 50s, but now I know, and I wasn't treated for it probably until my late 30s, probably. And now, knowing what I know now, so my older brother, actually, he committed suicide at the age of 26, and I was 20. So, and we didn't know what depression was, or now I could probably diagnose him in a heartbeat. I mean, there's a whole host of things that he had, but at the time he was just considered, a troubled teen. He dropped out of school, and now he could be helped today. And that's the good news, because 2 of my 3 children also have mental health issues. They both have severe, debilitating ADHD, and then varying degrees of anxiety and depression. So thank God we have the resources now,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
intervened early so
Yeah.
that they could be, as successful as possible.
Yeah. And also, it's like we can openly talk about now,
We
which
have to.
it's like years ago we hide, right? We don't want people to know we're kind of abnormal.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right.
And, especially as far as young people are concerned, there's still in the media seems to be, especially where ADHD is concerned, this pushback um, on kids and teens getting diagnosed and being medicated for it. And if they think it's not true, or it's there's an over medication or over diagnosis, and of course that could be true with any disease. But I will tell you, and my kids' teachers have always sort of been amazed to get to know them. They can't function without it. I mean, they just can't. It's not an option. They're adults now, and they know that. They know that they cannot function as what my daughter calls a neurotypical person, without the medication. And it doesn't. It's not a cure-all. It doesn't solve it. It doesn't cure it, but it helps them, better function and be successful at things that it's a disability, and we need to talk about it openly, like it's a disability. If your child had another physical disability, you wouldn't say, oh, I'm not going to get them treated. I'm not going to get them treated. But
Yeah.
so there's still a stigma around some mental illness.
Yeah.
Or maybe not so much as a stigma as a misunderstanding. And it's why I talk openly about it. My oldest daughter, when she was a freshman in college, she got to know the people in the mental health and disabilities office because she, was registered with their services. And she's an actress, so she's a good public speaker as well. But they had her as a freshman in college in another state participate on a school-wide panel on mental health, and she was the only student. The rest were either faculty or other, quote, adults and professionals. And she did that every year. She as she puts it, I love to talk about my brain. She's not ashamed. It's what makes her who she is. So yeah, we do. We have to talk about it and spread the education far and wide so that all young people get the help they need.
Right. Right. I'm trying to posting your Instagram. So do you do Instagram often?
Oh, I try to do it every day.
Oh, wow.
I try to
Awesome.
do it every day. Like I said, I've gone to school on Clubhouse
Yeah.
on how to grow on Instagram. So yes,
Right.
and I got into the reels when I first started. I was shy, and I posted about the women that I interviewed all the time, and it wasn't about me.
Yeah.
But more and more the experts on Clubhouse said, people follow people.
Yeah.
So you need to put yourself out there, and you need to get in front of the camera. So I had to overcome that hang up and practice may not make perfect, but it does make it easier.
You're amazing. You just have so much energy and getting so much done. Okay,
Well,
that's your Instagram.
yes.
So who is the photographer?
What do you mean?
Your hubby.
Oh, my
these
hubby.
pictures. It's amazing.
Well, some of those are from a professional photo shoot from when I launched my channel, the one in the middle.
Yeah,
But yes, my husband is pretty much my go-to photographer.
Oh, look at that. So beautiful.
Yeah, my husband is my go-to photographer. That one is from a lovely woman who's an actress, actually, here in Atlanta. And you've actually seen her in movies and things. She's quite a prolific actress, but she's also a fantastic headshot photographer. And actually, that's another funny story. I met her when she was suggested to me for my actress daughter when she was
Oh,
like 12 or
that's a
something.
hot mama. That's a hot mama. Anyway,
So,
sorry.
so
Go ahead.
she did my daughter's headshots. They were
Yeah,
fantastic when she was a child actress. And so
yeah.
when I set about to do this channel, I was like, I'd like to have, when I do this launch, I'd like to have some like professional headshots, but who am I? And like, that's embarrassing. And,
Yeah.
I don't deserve professional headshots.
Oh,
But
no.
one day I finally got the guts to call her, and she was so encouraging. She was like, yes, you
Uh-huh.
deserve professional. I love what you're doing. We're going to do professional headshots. They're going to be amazing. And so
Uh,
she and the makeup artist really put me at ease and made me feel worthy to have
oh,
professional headshots.
wow. How'd you do this one? Is that a secret?
Oh, it's not a secret. No. So that woman there is a fantastic over 50 influencer. She's actually going to be 59 in maybe
Oh
a
my God.
few days.
Oh my God.
And she makes full-time income representing brands and doing all sorts of things. So I was in Florida
Yeah,
to interview her and four or five other women,
yeah,
and went to her house. And so after the interview,
yeah.
she said, let's go play and make some reels. And so she was
Uh,
teaching me
yeah.
her magic. It's actually quite simple.
Okay.
It's just filming one frame, one short clip
Yeah,
where you flip the scarf down
yeah.
in one outfit, then
Uh,
changing clothes
okay.
and doing it
Okay.
again, and
Okay.
then splice it together.
Okay. 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 That's cool. So all your interview on YouTube is you physically went to interview them.
Yeah, almost everyone. Yeah,
That's awesome.
almost
But
everyone.
you have to carry light. You have to carry microphone. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
It's similar to what you do, Ching. I
Can you?
use
Sorry, dear. Can you give me a link? I cannot find it on YouTube.
of
Like,
what the YouTube link.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, in the private chat.
yeah. Is that called Yet We Are Not Dead
Uh,
or what?
that's the Instagram. But
Okay,
hold on, I'll just
yeah.
send it to you.
Send it to me because I want to show it to people. It's not. It's not on your
Um,
bio.
let's
Oh,
see.
Hiromi. I love
Oh,
her.
hi,
I
Hiromi. I
love
love
her.
her
She's
too.
so sweet. She's another one is full of energy. And she's on Clubhouse like 24/7.
She is full of energy.
Yeah, amazing. I thought
Okay,
I
hold
was
on.
on.
Bear with
Okay,
me. I'm going to
okay.
send this to you.
All right, yeah, yeah. So I can talk a little bit while you're working. And so for those of you who do not know what Clubhouse is, and you need to get your shit together and and, install Clubhouse because I met so many wonderful people on Clubhouse, right? Like people today was they were watching Shark Fin and Lewis, and Lewis has a channel you should check out. Lewis's channel is called Tech for Your Needs, and
Okay.
yeah, he talks about this. I believe Monday 7 on his YouTube, and then Friday 9 on Clubhouse. So either vice versa. I don't remember. But
Well,
anyway,
I put my link in the private chat
okay,
for
I got
you.
it. Okay.
And yes, I
Oh, you
agree.
okay? You have this really long thing. Yeah.
Yes, I had
Okay.
to,
Okay.
because there was already several We're Not Dead Yet. So
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put it out there, and so on StreamYard, and you can share reel, you share picture, share website, so it's really cool. And
yeah, and Sharkfin says we as content creators are all worthy of professional or semi-pro headshots. Never sell yourself short. And he's so right. But it's especially, I think it's harder for women, Sharkfin. We tend to sell ourselves short frequently.
Yeah, yeah, and also I think in almost um, everybody, especially people who are doing um, media or promoting themselves in whatever way they want to promote, one needs to have a good size, not too long, maybe under 250 words biography,
Mm-hmm.
and one needs to have a good headshot, right?
Yes. True.
Yeah,
True.
and it is surprisingly um, shocking to me after I interview like more than 180 episodes. Many people do not have a good bio nor photo.
Right. And some people think they think it's more expensive than it is.
Uh-huh.
Um, Headshots, what's funny is I had our youngest just
I
graduated from
don't.
high school.
You.
Yeah, sorry.
And she, this quote, senior portraits sessions cost 50 times what for 3 photos at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what my headshot artist gave me 1,000 images for. It's so they have experiences maybe with a photographer who did a family portrait setting or student photographs, and that's a racket. They charge you a sitting fee, and then they charge you for packages, and you can only have 3 images. And a good headshot photographer is not expensive, and they will give you all the images they take, 1,000 images. So
Yeah.
it's less intimidating than I think a lot of people think.
I have experienced headshots like the one Christopher, what's his name? Christopher. Oh shoot, it come up later. He is a very famous headshot for musicians. I went to
Oh,
watch how he did headshot to another famous musician, and I think his base feature was like $2,000. Just the base. Then
wow.
if you wanted more, then each picture is how much more.
Yeah,
But
that's too
yeah,
much.
yeah,
That's too
but
much.
Christopher, what Christopher?
I
But
think
anyway,
I was all in. I was all in for my headshots with a hair and makeup artist
mhm.
at maybe $500.
Oh, I charge zero because when I see my friend at the coffee shop, in the park, in anywhere, I just use my phone portrait mode and I take picture. I usually just take 2 or 3, and they're all fantastic.
I'm sure, because you're a
Fantastic,
videographer.
fantastic. Okay, do you see this video? Can we watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. You don't need anyone to give you power. You have the authority and you don't need permission. Welcome to We're Not Dead Yet, women rocking their next chapter. On this channel, I'll interview women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even beyond, who are reinventing themselves, dreaming new dreams, discovering new talents, maybe unearthing long ago buried dreams. Before I forget, if you're new to this whole YouTube thing, you're going to want to create an account. That way you can like and comment on the videos too. It's really important that you subscribe to the channel and like the videos. It's those algorithms. It's only by growing the channel that I can share more stories of women around the country and even the globe. I turned 55 this year. Is 55 the new 25? I hope not, because I really don't want to go back. But at 25, I never could have imagined that 30 years and 3 kids later, I'd be healthier, stronger, more energetic, and ready to take on new challenges. As I looked around, all around me were women who were finding another gear, Some were born out of heartache or drama, and others not. But what they had in common was the daring to imagine more for themselves. And the more I talked to women about my idea for this channel, the more I realized most of us are somewhere on the spectrum. Some are already living their best next chapter. Others are journaling and pondering what they're going to do next. And some have an idea, but just not quite ready to take that first step. So why we're not dead yet? Fun story. A little over 10 years ago, 2008 to be exact, my husband and I went on a weekend getaway with our best friends to Key West. Let's just say the trip started out in Miami in a convertible with Amy and I in the back seat singing 80s tunes at the top of our lungs while our somewhat more mature husbands went from mildly amused to increasingly annoyed. One evening, after a delicious meal and a yummy bottle of wine, the four of us hit Duval Street in search of live music and margaritas. Amy and I danced the night away. Suddenly, we heard from across the street a favorite 80s tune. And like dogs chasing a squirrel, Amy and I looked at each other and bolted from the bar. As we ran down the street, the guys were calling after us, "Wait, stop!" And I shouted back, "We're not dead yet!" Now, while it was all fun and games back then, and Amy and I were just barely into our 40s, the phrase kept reoccurring. In fact, her adult daughter recently said, "It's the family motto." And in my life, it took on increasing significance. At the age of 44, I decided to form a middle school musical theater troupe. I produced, directed, choreographed, even costumed. I had never done any of those things professionally before, and I didn't have a teaching degree. But I thought, why not me? We're not dead yet. Our little ragtag group even ended up winning some national awards. Then, at 46, my premenopausal metabolism had crept to an all-time low. Hell-bent on finding a solution that didn't require a gym membership, classes with perky teachers, or hours and hours of time, I resolved to teach myself to run. Now, I had never been a runner, not even in my youth. I could barely run a block. But armed with some professionally fit running shoes, a heart rate monitor, the Couch to 5K app, and coaching from some serious running friends, I took the first step. Over the first couple of years, there were many setbacks, illnesses, surgeries. Each time it would take longer and longer to get motivated to do it again. But eventually, I was running 5Ks and 10Ks. At age 53, my running had my heart and lungs in the shape of a 20-year-old, but I still struggled with that midlife midsection. So I took a chance on a new nutrition program. In short order, I had my 20-year-old waistline and weight back too. I loved it so much, I decided to become a coach. Why not me? We're not dead yet. And then last year, I decided I was no longer satisfied with the loss of muscle tone, my flabby arms, my sagging derriere. I did the unthinkable. I joined my husband's gym and started weight training. I thought, we're not dead yet. I can have abs. I want abs. So how did We're Not Dead Yet become a YouTube channel? Well, that brings us full circle back to my friend Amy. In her 40s, Amy announced to me, quote, she wasn't done yet. She wanted to go back to work full time. So she and her husband left the state, started a new company, and she would head up the marketing side. I was low-key pissed about this. What more did she want? I didn't need more. We were having a great time. But as I watched their success, my irritation turned into huge admiration. She had become a badass boss babe. So on a recent visit with her, we were having lunch, and I was telling her about my nutrition coaching business and how excited I was about it. She listened and was supportive, but then suddenly she said, I want more for you. I was aghast. This could be a big deal, I said. She said, you have skills. I want you to have your own thing. So she proceeded to write some ideas on a napkin. And we went through them, and honestly, none of them really resonated with me. But into the second margarita, I said, I do have a kernel of an idea. So after a lot of work and so much support from other women, my husband, and even my children, I've created something I hope will inspire and motivate women in those middle to late chapters. The possibilities are endless. We can still dream big dreams. I envision not just a YouTube channel, but a community of women who are motivating each other, brainstorming with each other, expanding each other's dreams. Someone recently said, oh, it's about empowering women. One word I do not like is empower. Empower means to give somebody power, to give somebody authority, to give them permission. Girl, you don't need anyone to give you power, authority, or permission. You have the power. You have the authority, and you don't need permission. You may need support, encouragement, information, maybe even a little help. This channel and the stories I'll tell are meant to embolden you to take that first step or take that next step. It can be as small as telling a friend your idea, like I did Amy. Sometimes just saying an idea out loud gives it momentum. And that leads me to the most important word in the phrase, we're. You know, I thought briefly about making it just not dead yet. You know, it's crisp, jazzy. But then the more I thought about it, I realized that every reinvention I've had, every new endeavor I've taken on, I was encouraged, inspired, sometimes even coached by the women around me. It's a team effort. Along those lines, I hope you'll share this channel and share the videos with your friends. Not only will it encourage them, but it will help me grow the channel so that I can share the stories of more women around the country, even the world. Big dreams. We're not dead yet.
I hope our audience is still awake.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
That was all shot by my husband, by the way.
Wow. Did he have 2 cameras simultaneously?
For that one.
Because he
actually, my daughter helped. And we did have 2 cameras.
You have different angles where you're still talking.
And I try to do that. So I had 2 young friends who are celebrity YouTubers. One I taught in that little middle school theater troupe when she was like in 5th grade, and by her freshman year in high school was making 6 figures on YouTube. And so they were good resources for me and advising me and said, you got to have 2 or 3 angles. You've got to have angles to switch back and forth from. So I've tried to do that. And you were asking me about, cameras and microphones, but, I do what you do. Sometimes I use DSLR. That's my primary now. And sometimes I also use like a Sony.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use a second camcorder. But more often than not, I just use 2 iPhones.
Oh yeah, awesome.
For the second and third angles.
Come to our smartphone clubhouse.
Yeah. I'm sure there's so much more I can learn
We've been
about
talking
that.
about for 72 weeks. Non-stop.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'll have to put it on my calendar.
Yeah. We're very consistent.
Yeah, because
every Friday. Yeah.
We've had it's been a learning experience. We have had shown up to a shoot and my phone has been full and won't record, or I thought you had the SD card. No, I thought you had the SD card. So luckily there's usually a convenience store around the corner where we can go grab a new SD card.
Yeah.
But we're still learning. But see that, and that's my initial video. I had this thing that, we can still dream big dreams and do big things. And now it's evolved. The more women that I've met and interviewed and talked to, it doesn't have to be super big.
Yeah.
It's just about maintaining that growth mindset and not stopping learning, growing, experiencing, sharing, making new friends. Because, I'd gotten to a place where, I thought I was just comfortable. Comfortable. I didn't need any more friends, and I didn't need to do anything new. And now, just since I've started this channel and joined Clubhouse and been more active on Instagram, I have so many more new friends that I can't imagine not being in my life, I made them.
Did you have training in acting? Because you're so natural.
I think it runs in the family. I mean, I was a ballet dancer.
That's awesome.
I was a ballet dancer and I sang my whole life.
You were a performer.
So I was comfortable performing. I was actually, like a lot of real actors, I'm more comfortable performing to an audience sometimes than I am, going to a cocktail party with 5 people. That's part of my anxiety, my social anxiety. And that's, you hear a lot of actors say that, right? That they're very shy. And that's true for me as well. But I've always been kind of a ham. My father was too. Obviously, my daughter's an actress. So, yeah, I don't know. Runs in the family.
Yeah. Let's talk about, briefly talk about motherhood. And how do you do with the 3 children? I only have 1. I'm all exhausted. And how do you do that? And are you a tiger mother or you're a lion mother?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say I'm a tiger mother. I don't know what a lion mother is exactly.
Lion will be even more than tiger.
Oh, would it? Oh, no, I'm not. I'm tough. I'm pretty tough for sure. But my philosophy is I wanted to expose them to as many things as I could. And even if they didn't, quote, want to do it or want to try it, I would be, you're gonna try it. You don't have to keep doing it, but you're going to try it because you don't know what, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're going to be good at. You don't know what you're going to find a passion for. In fact, our daughter, who is a budding actress now, I had to drag her to her first musical theater audition. She did not want to go, but she was a singer and a dancer, and she was very talented. And I said, well, let's try musical theater. Let's just go to this community audition. And she complained and complained. Well, she got in the production. She got a good part. And the director liked her so much. My daughter has red hair. And the director decided after meeting our daughter that she would do a production of Anne of Green Gables shortly thereafter, just so she could cast our daughter as Anne. And our daughter had never been in a straight play before. And here she was, like 10, 11 years old, having to learn 40 pages of dialogue. And the reviews were just crazy. And soon after that, I dragged her to an audition with the Atlanta Opera. And she loved that experience so much that she was riding horses as well. And at the time when the opera production was over with the Atlanta Opera, she said, I want to do this. And I said, you want to be an opera singer? And she said, no, not necessarily. I just want to perform. And she said, I want to go back to dance classes. I want to take more voice lessons. And I said, well, Emma, we can pay for unlimited dance classes for what it costs to keep that damn horse. So I said, I said, if you want to sell the pony and go all in on this, I said, I'm right there for you. So that's what she did. But, she wouldn't have known had I not, dragged her to do something she just wasn't sure about. So, but when my son also, then he decided, oh, well, I want to be in the Atlanta Opera. So I took him to an audition and he made it. And he did not
Wow.
one, but two operas. He was like 8 or 9, maybe.
Wow.
But then he became a preteen boy
Mm.
and decided that was for sissies, I said, I didn't make him continue. He was very talented, but I didn't make him continue. He wanted to play football instead. So,
wow.
but I'm all for, pushing kids out of their comfort zone and making them try different things, because you never know what door that they didn't walk through were they meant to walk through.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But it was a lot of driving. There was one season of life where my husband was working in another state Monday through Friday, and my 3 children were in 3 different schools in 3 different towns around
my
Atlanta.
goodness. Wow.
And I was driving about 11 hours a day.
That's called full-time job.
It was.
Or more than full-time.
It was. And I, when we were blessed that I was able to do that and make that, my full-time
and then
job.
you have to cook, you have to shop, and you have to do so many other things.
Yeah.
Bravo to a mother and how selfless mothers are. And I need to brag about my son. I only have one, okay? And he started to play the violin when he was 5.
I saw that.
Yeah, I started him when he was 4, actually. So he eventually got into a very good school in New York City. And now he is a professional musician at 22. He plays with the Pittsburgh Symphony.
Does he? Wonderful. Yeah. See? But if they don't try it, they'll never know.
Yeah. So I have to say, a lot of time, success is not just the parent influence or making them work. It is the peer sometimes. Like he went to a summer camp. It's called King Haven Music School in Vermont. There he met a lot of young musicians, young students. And then they told him, oh, you should go audition this place. You should audition for that place. Then he auditioned. He got into New York Youth Orchestra. Then he got into United States Youth Orchestra. Then he got into so many things. Then he got into Juilliard pre-college. And then he got into Juilliard college. So a lot of them, it really is not what I planned for him. It was like peers influence. So it's very interesting.
It's important. And I think that occurs more so in the arts, because we definitely saw that with our daughter too. She did some summer intensives and those friendships and those having different teachers with different perspectives, also looking at them rather than the same teacher over and over again. And all those influences contribute.
Yeah. Look, Shopfin has a question. Why does every young girl want
That is a good question. That is a very good question.
So do you
and
have
also when she was a competitive, what they call hunter jumper, so she jumped over fences with her pony.
That is expensive sports.
They don't call it the sport of kings for nothing.
Yeah.
It's an expensive sport, but I, since I was at the barn all the time with her, I actually took up horseback riding for a bit. Also, I thought, well, if I'm gonna have to be there with her, I'm gonna take riding lessons. So
Yeah. So we're at the end of our hour almost, and I usually like to do a rapid fire game with my guests. Would you like to do it?
Sure, I'll try.
Oh, you're good at that. So it's like I ask a question and you answer quickly.
I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very simple. Well, I'll ask a simple question first. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Yay! What is your favorite type of food?
Honestly, salmon is my favorite food group. It's a food group for me.
Oh, okay, great. And which book you read recently that you can recommend us?
I've been so busy. I haven't read a book recently.
Mm,
Not in a while. I can't recall.
that's fine. I don't read much myself. I read Andrew Yan's Forward. That's the most recent book. You know Andrew Yan, right?
Yeah.
Andrew, Yan, yeah. What else? What country would you like to visit for the next travel for leisure?
Hmm. The Maldives.
Maldives.
Yeah.
Where's Maldives?
Bucket list.
Oh,
Gosh, it's far away from me. Far away. It's
yeah.
in what sea is it in? I don't even know what sea it's in. It's in is it the South Pacific?
What's a continent?
It's islands. They're
Oh,
islands.
oh, okay,
Islands.
okay,
Beautiful
cool.
islands.
So you like water compared to mountain?
I like both. I'm a snow skier. So I
Oh,
like to snow ski too. I do.
oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
like
You
mountains.
mean
I
down
like
ski?
both.
Down
Yes,
ski, right?
downhill.
Or downhill?
Downhill. Yep.
Wow, wow. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a little bit skiing long time ago.
Did
Yeah,
you? Do you
yeah.
enjoy it?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I love it. I mean, it's just so expensive to go,
yeah,
especially to take a family. So we don't get often enough, but I do
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah. Now, oh, Shukfin has another question. Shukfin was a past journalist. He always has good questions.
Yeah.
Do you script your reels and read off a teleprompt when making the video, or memorize what you are going to say, or is it all just off the cuff?
Well, so is he talking about like my reels on
Yeah.
Instagram, or is he
No,
talking about
just
my
the video.
interviews?
The video you just showed us. Your
Oh,
opening.
oh gosh, that was my first one. So I completely scripted that. I didn't have a teleprompter, but I like mostly memorized it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
That
I
was
was
awesome.
super nervous and didn't know what I was doing.
Oh,
So,
you look like you know what you're doing.
but
Yeah.
I don't script anything anymore, especially interviews. I mean, I have a journalism background. I'm very curious. I'm very curious about people and interested in people. I like to ask questions. So that part comes easy for me. It's the part, that video you saw where I just have to talk about me. That's the hard part.
Yeah. No, it's very well done. And you lay out so many things you are conquering and you're able to do. And it is a definitely a testimony of your title, that yet we're not dead, right?
We
So
can do anything.
yeah, no, it's
We
very
can still
inspiring.
learn anything.
It's very inspiring, and you're like a badass mom, actor, model, or
I don't
whatever,
know.
athlete. What else? A business woman, marketing.
No.
This is a great marketing tool, and it's amazing. Yeah, thank you so
Jack
much.
of all trades,
Yes,
master of none.
yeah. So if you would hire someone, what are the 3 qualities you would look for when someone work with you?
Oh, I would say number 1, the feeling that they can do anything, figure anything out. It's just people who say, I can't, or I don't know how, or that drives me nuts, because especially today, we have the internet. I used to have to go to the library
YouTube.
to figure out things,
Yeah.
it was much harder. Now you can just whip up your iPhone and get the answer to how to do literally anything. So
Yeah.
just that knowledge, or that desire to just figure things out.
Right.
Whatever the problem, whatever the obstacle, I'll figure it out mentality. That's number 1.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 2, fun. just I value fun. People who are fun and pleasant to be around, of course. And 3, loyalty. No, scratch that. Not loyalty, integrity. I'm big on integrity.
Yeah.
I'd spent a lot of time in business and worked with a lot of people. Not all of them had integrity, and
Right.
and that over time became something that I watched for, something really, really important. Doing the right thing, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to not always do the right thing every time, but knowing right from wrong, it sounds so simple, but there's a lot of people who really, really don't. They don't see why that thing they just did was not the right thing to do. So, yeah.
Awesome. Right now it's close to happy hour. When I'm taking you to a happy hour, what would you order?
Margarita. A spicy jalapeno margarita on the rocks with salt.
Awesome.
And no mix.
No mix.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't drink margaritas out anymore because during the pandemic, my hobby was learning how to make cocktails. And so now I make margaritas better than any restaurant. So my husband and I hate to order them because we end up having to tell the bartender, okay, just a tiny bit of agave.
Yeah. You're being very bossy, tell him how to make it.
Just okay, I want this much tequila and I want Grand Marnier and just a tiny bit of agave.
Oh my God, you're expensive customer. So I know you're perfect, but do you have one or two area like is your weakness?
Oh gosh, insecurity is my hugest weakness, probably. And self-doubt all the time. I battle that constantly. Constantly.
Okay. Yeah.
What's another one? Oh, I have many. I
have 5. Only
you
5.
Have 5? Only 5? I have many. Irritability. Like I could, I'm easily irritated.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I'm medicated, so it's better.
That's great. So if you had a chance to invite 2 people to have lunch with, who would you invite? They could be dead or alive. 2 people. Not have lunch at the same time, okay?
Oh, Johnny Depp. For sure.
That's a good one.
That's
a good one.
Johnny Depp.
No Amber, right?
Definitely not Amber. I'm not Team Amber at all.
That's funny.
Oh, Sharkfin says wasted away again in Margaritaville. Yeah. give me 30 minutes, Sharkfin.
That's funny.
Who would be the second person? Probably somebody in politics, because I had a career in politics. My husband's very active in politics. I've actually been active on both sides of the aisle, so it would probably be somebody. There's a number of people who are interesting. So I can't name one, but yeah,
number, yeah. All right. So if you have 25,000, you won 25,000. No, 25 million. You won a lottery. What would you do?
Expand my empire of We're Not Dead Yet. Expand my empire. Hire people to help me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Or travel to New York to do interviews with you. I still may yet do that soon because, my daughter's up there. So a trip up there is inevitable. And then I will work in interviews while I'm up there.
That's wonderful. Interview me.
That's right.
I raised my hand.
Yes, absolutely. First choice.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so last question. All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Nespresso.
I can tell.
Cappuccino with cinnamon.
That's awesome. Yeah, if my son is around, he's a barista. He can make you really fancy coffee.
Ooh, I like fancy coffee.
Yeah. I'm very basic. I'm a Dunkin' Donut person.
Are you?
All right. So it's been such a pleasure to.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you were interested in what I'm doing and wanted to talk to me. Very honored.
Yeah.
Be
I
blessed.
spotted you a few weeks ago on Clubhouse. I thought that woman is very interesting. So yeah, I like to interview people who has things to say, messages to give, project to do, right? They are brave.
Yes. And I want to encourage everybody to do that. We're
Yeah.
not dead yet.
Yeah. Awesome. So last word, like Clubhouse.
Last word for me.
Mhm.
We're not dead yet. So, and I interviewed a lady yesterday. She read me a poem. I'm not going to be able to quote it from you. It's from C.S. Lewis. And it was about the kids who were about to go into this scary like forest or whatever. And there was a bell.
Yeah.
And the poem was something about, ring the bell. It's a risk, but if you don't ring the bell, you won't know.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever. And so she, we said in her interview, ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Right. Just do it. Just go do it. Take the risk.
I always have a slogan. I don't know where I got it, or could be from me when I'm sleeping. I always encourage people to do that one thing. One thing leads to another. If you don't do that one thing, there will be not another thing. So
yes.
Yeah. So
and it might not be the right thing.
Yeah.
But you don't know who you'll meet.
Yeah.
Or what you'll experience.
Right.
Doing that thing.
Exactly.
That might lead to the next thing.
Yeah. Exactly. And I have another shout out is please consider watch our video and subscribe our video. If you just subscribe, if you don't watch, it's kind of useless. So what the algorithm is that you need to watch videos of people you like and not just subscribe. Yeah. Please. So, all right. On that note, and every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, I talk to someone special. So come next Wednesday, and we'll surprise you with I could possibly talk to someone I met on Clubhouse who is a very interesting personality. Yeah. Ooh. So yeah. Okay.
There
great.
are lots of those.
Yeah. And it's nice to hear their voices, right? Yes. That you can tell the personality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I offered to Shark Fin, and he is going to talk with me soon. I already interviewed Lewis, so you can check my past interviews. And one of these days, I hope I interview Colette, and she's very humble, and she said next time, in the future. So, but anyway, and Juliana, I would love to interview in Shanghai dialect. So Juliana's from Shanghai, and
that
she's
very neat.
Yeah, she's a Shanghai dialect teacher on Clubhouse. She's awesome.
You'd need to have subtitles for me.
Yeah. Okay, dokie, and we're going to have happy hours in different cities now.
Yes. You didn't tell me. What are you drinking at happy hour?
I like to drink gin and tonic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
it's a classic. It's a classic.
Very classic. Yeah, very classic. And sometimes red wine. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to have actual happy hour together one day.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much to be with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, our audience, to be with us.
Thank you.
This is a lot of fun. So we're going to say goodbye to our audience first. Goodbye.
Bye.
So, see you next time.